Hey y'all, I'm back again. But this one's going to be a little bit more intimate. I just want to say that I've been seeing and hearing about a lot of people who just feel like giving up. And I remember at a time that I felt that same way, not even a whole full year ago. And I just want to preface this video and just say, you're going to make it through it. You are going to make it through whatever it is that's plaguing you, whatever it is that's stressing you out, whatever it is that you don't understand, whatever you're uncertain about. You're going to make it through it. And I'm only here because I thought what I was dealing with was permanent and it would never change. But I'm telling you, I'm a living witness that everything is going to be all right. So, today, this video is just basically kind of how I got to where I am now, and just talking about the things and the tools and the things that I applied to my life to get me out of that so-called funk, and what's helping me to keep going, which is one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel in the first place. I always knew that it was something that I wanted to say. I just didn't necessarily know how I was going to get it done. But just, again, as I've said in the previous videos, just having that thought, that constant, thought going on in my mind, I just said, okay, why not try it? And like I've been seeing a lot of people say lately, do it afraid. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to do it anyway. And if it's something that God's want me to do, He's going to allow it to prosper. And that's basically what this video is about. This is basically what this channel is about, is me sharing the ways that I've come out of some pretty dark places in some bad times, and being able to stand firm in my faith now, and just be able to think differently, to look at life differently, to look at other people differently, and how that has changed me, and looking at myself also differently, and loving on myself as much as God loves me. And I'm just here to share, to be open to anything you guys want more of, or what else you would like to see me do on this channel besides the story times, or just getting to know me, or how I should use you guys some comments or ideas to grow my channel. I'm just gonna continue to tell y'all my truth and being transparent. Plug. And hopefully that, like I said before, that it'll touch somebody. So basically, some questions that I've had recently is what started my transformation, or what prompted me to want to grow my relationship with Christ. And I can say that I've grown up in church. I was baptized at an early age, and growing up, like I've stated previously, I thought I had it. I thought I knew what that was. Like I said before, going to church on Sunday, then doing whatever I want to do. And that's not just me. That's a lot of people. That's human. What we think. But the biggest thing, besides even me being shot, or in 2016, or me being diagnosed with breast cancer, and having to go through chemo in 2018 and 2019, those things did start with me wanting to get closer to God, because those were times where I could have been gone, or the situation could have been way worse, and God showed favor to me, and He blessed me beyond my belief through those things. But still, I was still struggling, and I didn't know why. And I was feeling, like I said, not motivated. I felt down. I felt like this is all that there was to life. This is all that my life was ever going to be. And I was just ready to settle, or I was just ready to throw in the towel and give up and say, forget it, and, try to take my own life. But again, thank God for grace, and for me being able to hear His voice, and I'm here before you guys today, as I always say. One of the things recently in 2020, which we all know 2020 was 2020. It was a doozy. Okay. Seems like everything was going left and right. So with starting off 2020, it was normal, celebrating family members' birthdays, Valentine's Day, going out, doing whatever, we wanted to do. Until of course the pandemic started, and then it was one thing after the other. And I know one particular time that started it all for me was going into work, running late as usual, trying to rush, and I fell and I broke my left foot. When I say I broke my left foot, I broke it. I had to wear boots. I had crutches. I was limping. Like, even that day that I did break my foot, y'all, I was walking around for 8 hours on my foot. And by the time I got off of work, thank God I got off of work early that day, but by the time I got off of work, I was literally dragging my foot and had the nerve to go to my cousin's probate, but that's a whole other story. Walking around on a broken foot, I don't know how I did that. And so, when you have a job and you hurt yourself on the job, there's this workman's comp thing or whatever, and it's only allotted for a certain amount of time. And I think mine was like 3 months maybe. And the doctors, every time I went, was like, it's not healing right yet. It's not healing all the way. You still need your boot. You still need to be on light duty. And of course, workman's comp is like, well, you're going to have to not work at all. Like, you're going to have to stay at home and, we'll pay you, but you can't be there because they need to use you, the way that they're used to, and they can't. And so I remember getting that call, and I was just already frustrated from some things that was going on at home. And I was just like, I remember calling, like I always do, call my mama, and just was just like, I'm just over this. Like, I'm tired of this always being my story. I already had to go through, being off from work from getting shot. I already had to be off from getting, having to go through chemo and surgeries and being sick and not feeling well, and now and staying home and having to get paid or not get paid. And I'm just tired of this always being me, like one year after the other. And I just remember having a breakdown at work, like I cannot do this. And then something just came over me that evening when I got home, and I was like, you know what, Lord, I am tired. I remember standing in my living room and just saying, Lord, I'm tired. But I know for a fact that I'm not going to lack anything this entire time that I'm going to be off from work. Did I think I was going to be off the entire summer? No, I did not. But I knew that God was going to take care of me. I knew, that I was going to be getting paid. I didn't know how much, but I knew it was coming, and I knew that I had resources to be able to, get the extra income that I needed. But still, just so much stuff, y'all, was going on top of that I was just like, I was done. Like, well, I thought I was done. And then even right after that, or just like I said, in the midst of me falling and, me breaking my foot, now I can't work or whatever, me and my boyfriend broke up. It was the most devastating thing ever. Like, I've had boyfriends in the past, like I've had devastation in the past, but this one, like, I thought was forever. Like, I always, I always felt like this was the one. And, he would always say that I was the one. I mean, yeah, we had, arguments before. We had things going on between us, but it was like the good always outweighed the bad. And I never thought in a million years that the things that came up around this time, which I want to say was like last March, which is crazy. That's almost going to be that year, March or April. And it's just, I never thought any of those things would happen. And so in the midst of that, we were fighting, we was arguing. I had found out, like there was cheating involved. I found out just, it was with a girl who basically hated my guts because of him in the past. And I mean, he was, just turned into this evil person, like this person that I never ever seen him to be. And I thought, maybe he's just going through something, like maybe, he's just running. But it was hurtful, because I remember just like waking up one day randomly and just, wanting to be all lovey-dovey, but he was very standoffish, and I didn't understand it. And of course, everybody has their moods, but it was just like, what's wrong with you? And he would keep saying, I don't have no girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we live together. Like, we sleep in the same room. Like, what are you talking about? You don't have no girlfriend? Boy, bad. But, like, he wouldn't be affectionate. Like, he wouldn't, like, it was like he was just, like, basically one foot out the door. And he was just, like, just turning into this person that I did not know. And, lying all the time. And I was just like, where is all this coming from? Like, Lord, I cannot take no more. And I'm already, not feeling good. I'm already, like, got to walk around with this boot on. It's causing me pain in my hips, and side effects from medicine that I take is causing me to feel sick. Like, I can't even come home and have peace or have somebody there anymore that, will embrace me and help take care of me and tell me everything's all right. Like, it was just like so much. And I started, even before this, like, strengthening my relationship a little by, like, praying all the time, like, making sure that before we went to bed, like, we would pray, trying to be open to communicate, because, like I said, nobody's relationships is perfect, but I felt like we was on the up and up, and how you see the growth in people, even if, they may mess up here and there, but it was just like the prayers that I was praying and writing down and putting in my closet, it was working, it was coming to pass. And I was just like, thank you, Jesus, maybe this is what I needed. And then all of a sudden, it just like exploded right in my face. It was just like the enemy was coming at so many different directions, and then it was just like it was over. And I was starting to have dreams of him with other girls, and I would bring it up and it would get on his nerve, but he would say that it wasn't, but it was. And I would find stuff in his phone. It was just like so many things, and it was just like I felt like it was all me. And it was just like, this isn't what I want, but God, I don't want to let this go. I don't want to let this go, because I'm tired of having a failed relationship. I'm tired of feeling like I can never have, what I may see somebody else have, or have that person who genuinely loves me for me and would, forsake other people and, not put me in a position to be humiliated or embarrassed. And it was just like coming from this person, y'all. It was just like, what? Like, all the times that I forgave you, all the times that, you may have said something out of anger, or I may have done something out of anger, and then we come back and we communicate and we get it together and we straighten. Now this, like, what are you going through? Like, what's going through your head? And, he's not the type of person that you can force to do anything, or he'll flip it, And it's just like, I was really trying my hardest to be loved and to show love and be like, I was there for you, and I ran out of patience with you too, but I still stay, because that's what you do with love, and you communicate and you talk. And this whole time, it's like, the more that I was trying to, love on him, the more I was trying to show him, like, I'm here for you. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you treating me this way? Like, everybody in my family, everybody in his family knows how much we love each other, knows, our history and how we got back. And it's just like, why now? Like, this is the year that, we've said, even on Valentine's Day, it was a situation where we kind of got into it on the day where we supposed to be showing love, and it was just like, hold on, like, and then it was a point where we was in separate areas of our apartment, and he came in and he had the gifts, and he just broke down crying, saying how he knows that he's gonna marry me, and what he does for me is out of love and out of sacrifice, and those things. And it was just like all those things that I wanted to hear. And then again, out of nowhere, it's always something, like, now he's totally different. Now he's changed. Now he's distant. Now he doesn't want to talk. And like, again, like I said, on top of stress from life, stress from not working, not knowing if I'm going to get money to pay for these bills, trying to make sure that my mental is straight, trying to love on him even more. And I'm not getting that type of stuff reciprocated back to me. And it was just like, I can't. You know, and it's just like, I don't want to tell everybody my business. I don't want to, you know, have them looking at him a certain type of way, and then we forgive each other and we good, and they still looking at him a certain way, like, you know. And then it was, I want to make sure that I don't allow myself to get in a dark space. So I'm constantly praying. I'm crying out to God. I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it that you want me to do? Because again, I'm tired, God, and I know you say you're not gonna give me more than I can bear, but everything is hitting me all at once, and it's getting a little hard, and it's on my shoulders, and it's just like, how, like I said in the beginning of this video, like, people have been coming to me lately, you know, I'm tired, I'm not motivated, I feel like I'm not at the place where I need to be. Like, all of these thoughts is running through my head too, and I feel like I don't have money for this. I feel like this is all there is. It's gonna be this way, and I feel like whatever I pray to God for, he's not giving it to me, and I'm trying to do it in my own strength, and saying that I trust God, but still doing things on my own way, not surrendering it to him. And it's just like, no wonder I was so stressed. And, you know, I had to understand after we broke up, like, it was tough. You know, it was just like, here I go again with rejection. Here I go again with, you know, thinking somebody is the one, and they end up being, and thinking this person is different, and then they end up being, you know, the same as, you know, somebody was in the past. Or, you know, how people, I'll never leave, you know, I'll always be with you. And, you know, you hold on to those things, you know, those promises from people. And it's just like, people change, you know, their feelings change, and it hurts. And I remember one day I was just like, man, I'm so tired of getting rejected. I'm so tired of every year is, Audrey needs this, Audrey needs that. I felt like I was a burden. Again, those lies that the enemy was tormenting me with. Like, I need, you know, I need help with this bill, or I don't have enough money for this, or I can't do this, or, you know, it's always something, you know, she's always off work. So I'm thinking, you know, my boss is probably like tired of me, because I've been working at this place since 2013, and the past couple of years it's always been, oh, Audrey, like, when is it ever gonna stop? You know, and feeling like, you know, I gotta always somebody always has to make some type of compromise or some type of like adjustment to things because I can't work. You know, she got shot. I mean, these things are nothing that I can control, but it was just like they kept hitting me, and I was just like, why me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why me? And I feel like a lot of times that's the question that we always ask. It's like, God, why me? But then it's just like, why not you? You know what I'm saying? Like, people go through things and people see things and have circumstances hit their life that we always think are, you know, more deeper than what they really are, you know, because there's people out here that, you know, wish they had the troubles that we had. You know, we can't even imagine some of the stuff that so many people are going through, but it's just like in that moment, it's our human side, our mind, and also the enemy too gets us so caught up in the things that don't matter, or the things that it's just like that's the only way or the only thing we look at. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like the whole time my mind ain't thinking like, God, come down here and help me, or give all my cares and anxieties to the Lord because he cares for me. It's, how is this going to work? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And it's just like, here, like I said before, here I am getting rejected. Here I am having to come to the terms that the love of my life is gone. I mean, packed up, called his mama, packed up, gone. I'm here by myself. I already have issues with being by myself. I put my all into this relationship. I fought so hard for him to know my entire adult life from 19 to the age of 32, almost 33, that I was in his corner. I had him. I knew him. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though we were, you know, have our ups and downs, I was still ride or die. And it was just like, when is somebody going to be that ride or die to me? So then it was just like that night he left, and I remember was like, Don't nobody care about me. Again, lies. Just tormenting me the whole time. Don't nobody care about me. Don't nobody, and I didn't see myself as worth anything, not even life. So what did I do, y'all? I gave up. And I remember posting something on Facebook, and I remember just turning off my phone and just taking pills, because at the time I was having so much insomnia, and I just couldn't sleep, and he would be sleeping like a baby, and my mind was just constantly running. So I had like literally prescribed medicine to get me to go to sleep. And I remember taking those pills like 3-4 at a time, because I was just like, I ain't gonna wake up, and I don't care. I locked myself in a room, and I was just done for. And I went through that night, and I remember the next day, it's kind of fuzzy, but I remember hearing somebody in my house, and I remember like people like banging on the door, and I got up and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, here I am, I'm still here, and I remember opening the door, and it was my mom and it was him. And, my mom, she was like distraught looking, like she was so upset, because I guess, people had been trying to get in contact with me. They've been calling me, and what I did, is not what I recommend anybody do. But at that time, that's what I thought I had to do, And so I just remember, listening to whatever my mom had to say, and then him saying like, don't, you scared the crap out of me. Like, why would you do that? And I remember looking at him like, you don't care about me, get out. You know what I mean? Like, just angry. And so once everybody left, I remember sitting in my room on the bed, and I just broke down crying. And that night changed my life, because I was like, you didn't take me. You didn't allow what I wanted to happen. Like, Lord, like, what is it that you want me to do? Like, I cannot do this. Like, he's gone. Like, you told me he was my husband. He even said you told him he was my husband. I don't know what you want from me. Like, I done been through hell and back these last couple of years, and it's just like I'm putting on this brave face like I'm a survivor of this, I'm a survivor of that, but I'm hurt. Like, why is it me? And I just remember just sitting there, and I just like, Lord, I cannot take any more. Like, I cannot do this on my own. Like, I need you. And from that day on, I remember the scripture that night, and it came to me. I don't know if I saw it on a post or heard it on TV or whatever it was, but it was Matthew 11:28 through 30. And a part of it is, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden or burdened, and I will give you rest. And I remember being like, okay, that must be some type of sign. So, Lord, I'm going to try you. And I, from that day on, I had to understand that rejection is not always, just the enemy always coming for you. Sometimes, in my study and what I've been hearing and being taught lately, is that rejection is also redirection. It's all in how you see it. And God allows doors to close too, because he knows where he's taking you. Again, like I've said plenty of times before, he knows the plans he has for you. And even though it hurts, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's painful, even though you don't understand it, even though you wish it did not happen, sometimes God has to take things from you that are taking your time and attention away from him, so that you can see that he's the one that's in control. He's the one that you should be dependent on, not men, because man lie. People lie. The promises that I was holding on to from him, telling me he would never leave, telling me that he loved me, and then turn around and do things that didn't depict love. Like, God is not like man. He loves us. He cares for us. He does want us to give us rest, to not be stressed out. He don't want us to live a stress-filled life. He don't want us to give into those lies that the enemy tries to throw in, and the things that come up against you, to just like throw in the towel and give up, because he's good, and anything that from God is good. And so he allowed these things, this breakup, this pandemic, me, breaking my foot. I didn't know it at the time, but he allowed those things to happen because it was preparing me for greater. Like, it was preparing me for, the things that he was about to bless me with. And I wasn't able to understand it. I wasn't able to see that yet. And what I want you guys to understand is just like staying in it sometime is the biggest test of faith or action of faith that you can have. Like, it's not always easy, but it's necessary because it builds character, it builds integrity, it builds good morals. It helps you, to stay in the fire, I guess, so that God can crush you and shape you and mold you and transform you into who he's wanted you to be all along. And sometimes we get so distracted by, the boyfriends or the girlfriends. We get distracted by our friends or family members, or we get distracted by what we don't have or what we lack. We get distracted by the jobs and the careers and the money that we have or that we don't, and we allow ourselves to just be so consumed with things that God is just I feel like the whole 2020 was God just putting everybody on pause and bruh, sis, it's time for y'all to see it's me. All these things, the silly things that y'all argue over, all the petty things that y'all try to do to each other, all the things that the world is so caught up in, all the things that we think are so important. God had to be I'm gonna put this on hold, and I'm gonna show y'all who you can truly trust, who you can truly depend on, because at the end of the day, y'all not in control of nothing. I did this. This is all me. And again, not just in the world, but in my life, I was going through that same thing. He allowed for me to see some things and for me to go through some things so that the person that I've been searching for my entire life can come out. And because, I've always felt as though there was more to me than what it was. I just didn't know how to get to it. I didn't know how to obtain it. I didn't know how to, open my mouth basically and say, God, what is it? Here I am, use me, I'm available. And so he had to be okay, well, you giving all your time and attention to this person, you using him as a way to, make you feel validated, make you feel important, make you feel significant, when all along it's supposed to be me. And he's using you as a way to, to fill some voids in his life, to make himself feel wanted, or to make himself feel I'm wanted or needed by somebody. But then again, he's also taking your love for him for granted, because he's not willing to change anything about himself to keep you like he says he wants to. So I'm gonna help little buddy out. I'm gonna let him go. And I know it's gonna hurt you, and it's gonna hurt him too, but y'all gotta be separated, because I got work for you to do, and him. Okay? Him too. And so with that, what has helped me during this transformation, I've been binge watching sermons. I fell in love with the ministry from Redefine TV, who's also on YouTube and on Facebook. And just the way that Pastor Flowers and his wife Tanisha Flowers, how they break down the word, how they make it so easy for you to understand, and the points that they make, and just how they help build you up, not just keeping it them cute little motivational sermons, but they really dig deep. And so what I started doing, was I'm gonna show y'all all of these notebooks, and then some. I started taking notes. I started, turning other people on to them. I started doing, of course I always had the Bible app downloaded, but how many of us just download it just because, but we don't ever really use it unless we're in church? I started doing those daily devotionals. I started reading books. I started fasting because I was, I've always done that. I've done that a few times in the past, like with family for certain reasons, but I never really did it as a way of thinking, or even to lose weight though. I never even did it to think or thought about it as far as like hearing from God and, being able to just like shut everything off, be free of distractions and be just focused on Him and increasing my time in prayer, increasing my time in devotion. And fasting, it helps you to gain self-control and be able to deny your flesh, to put your flesh, to let your flesh know, like, I have control over you, you don't have control over me. And it, as Pastor Flower says, strengthening your no. And I started doing that. I started basically, being obedient, like putting myself and my desires and my will in the back and saying, God, you can take the wheel, and I surrender it out to you, and I'm going to do what it is that you want me to do. So I started reading the Bible even more. I would, even on TikTok, even though I don't get on there that much, like I would see, like my algorithm started to change because if, I didn't want to continuously see the same things that was going to, kind of pull me back into what I was used to. So anytime there was, people talking about, scriptures or praying for people, like I started reading those, and even some taking notes off of stuff on TikTok too. It's just like, you never know what God will use to help you get closer to Him. And I can say that now I am totally different. Like, by doing these things, I have applied them to my life. And like I said before, I die to myself daily, meaning I want my life to give God glory. I want my decisions and my thoughts and anything that is in my life or that I'm doing to give Him glory, because I want what He wants for me. I want the best for myself, just like I know God and y'all want the best for yourselves, and God wants the best for us. So just taking that time to like make room for God has allowed me to just see God's hand at work in my life. And I did not think that it would happen that fast, because the days, the struggle of, coming from somebody who, if you clap at me, I'm gonna come at you even harder. I'm gonna blow your phone up. You cuss at me, I'm gonna cuss at you. Who you think you, like, coming from that to being like, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not even giving out. No, I'm not allowing you to get to me, to make me act out of character to where people gonna be like, I thought she said she believed in Jesus. Look at her cussing people out. Look at what she's posting. Look at how she's acting out here in the streets. Like, no, I'm not gonna give nobody that power. Like, every day that I chose to read the word and just to see how God what God expected of me, like, I took that seriously, and I stay even still consistent with that routine, because if not, the moment that I compromise, walking in obedience, the moment that I say, nah, I'm gonna just give in to this one, then everything else is gonna go out the window, because it's like all that hard work for nothing. And I know that still God has grace and mercy for me when I do mess up, but why do it when you know that it's better, doing it His way? And now it's like I'm learning to focus on what matters. And that's what I hope this video will give you guys a chance to do and help you guys do, to continue to focus on what matters and being a fruitful person. And at first, when I would hear those things, like, I didn't even understand what that was. But again, as you continue to like walk with God and seek after him and acknowledge him and like just deepen your relationship with him, he's going, those scriptures that you would hear like back in the day or whatever, like, and you be like, I don't get it. Like, what? The more time that you spend with him, those scriptures are going to start making sense. Like all those parables that Jesus would talk in the Bible, that, you know, only those who were abiding in him, only those who were spending that time with him, those are the ones that will understand what he meant. And I just know that I know that if it had not been for God, you know, saying, I want you to give all of those things to me, and I want to show you that when you try me, you will see that what I have for you is more than you can ever begin to think or imagine. Like, I just know that I probably would be out here stressed and busted and disgusted, and I wouldn't be able to, you know, make these videos or share my truth with you guys in order to help y'all if it wasn't for that. And I know that that with this, like I said, it's helping me to focus my mind on what matters most and become or try to continue to maintain a fruitful person. And if you don't know what fruitful means, it means a person who bears fruit, and or the fruits of the Spirit, and just allowing God to come into your heart and change you and cleanse you and renew your mind, renew your thought patterns, your attitudes, your behaviors, the things that you are attached to. It's hard to let go of, but it's doable. It's hard to let go of, but it's necessary, because, like I said, being a fruitful person is a person who shows love, who, you know, just basically the character of Christ. And a good person produces good things from the treasury of a good heart. An evil person produces evil things from the treasury of an evil heart. What you say flows from your heart. That's from Luke 6:45. And basically, when I read that, I was just like, I get it now. So, like, the things that you focus on the most, the things that you allow just to take your attention, will be the things that you speak out of your mouth, will be the things that you feel on the inside, will be the vibe or the energy that you give off to people. So why waste it on being evil? Why waste it on being unforgiving? Why waste it on being bitter? Why waste it on being down and anxious and depressed? Give all of that to God and allow him to change your heart, to cleanse your heart, to give you, you know, to help you become a good person. Like, no matter what you've done, no matter what you said, like, he's waiting for you in that situation that you're so caught up in to be like, okay, God, come in, like, I'm ready. And all of this just had me realize that, you know, I can't, with the things that was going on in my life, it just helped me to realize, you know, I cannot say that I love God and I don't change. I can't say that I love God or I trust God that he's going to help me make it through this breakup, he's going to heal me, if I don't start to do the things that he expects me to do. And I can't serve him with my heart, like I said before, full of bitterness. I had to learn how the song says to let go and let God, because and allow him to change me from the inside out and truly put myself aside so God could live through me. And so that, you know, I could start making better choices and coming to him with the choices that I had, so that I wouldn't always do what I was so used to and fall for the things and the okie dokes that I was so familiar with following with. Like, it all boils down to making that choice. And I chose to follow God. I chose life. Because the way that I was going, the sins that I was partaking in, you know, I didn't realize it at the time, but until that day when God came to me, it was just like, it's a different way. Like, come with me, try me. Like, that light bulb didn't go off. I thought I was in love. I thought I was ready to get married. I thought I was, just the bee's knees. What even is that? But like, I thought, everything was straight. And it's just like, girl, what? Like, you was all the way wrong. And I'm just so grateful for that. And it's just like, consistently doing the work to stay in a position to hear from God, and make room from Him in my life daily, so that I wouldn't continue to allow my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings and people to dictate, how I felt or if I was happy or not, and just give all that control over to people, because those things are so exhausting. And it's just like, I read today that a lot of times people don't fully give themselves over or give their hearts over to God because they always want to, because of independence, like this independence, like mind state. And you don't want to give it all to God, and then He don't come through with what you want. And then you out here looking, like, see, so people shy away from that. And a lot of people, fear, that if He doesn't come through, that He's not good. And, it's basically saying, I trust myself more than I trust God. And who am I? Who are we? Who are you that we think that we're, better than the Creator? And so I had to come to terms with the things in my life that was happening, and just understand that, it's all intentional. Like, these things were needed. Like I said, for my oil to flow, I needed that hurt that a lot of people say. I needed that hurt. I needed that extra push to, like, propel me into walking into my purpose, propel me to walking into my destiny, because it's just, if none of that would have happened, I still would have been out here just doing me and just like not fully living, just just surviving, doing the day-to-day routine, and that's not what God wants us to do. And I just hope that you guys understand that the things that we try to overcome, the things that we want out of life, or even like the uncertain things, allow those things to draw you near to God. Don't allow those things to pull you away, because if you do, you're going to continue to mess it up. You're going to continue to miss out on seeing or hearing or, allowing God to do a good work in your life. And now I can say that, with the consistency in my walk with Christ, and just being like radically obedient, just going ahead and just like, I don't know if it's going to work, but God, I trust you. I don't know what's going to happen, but God, I trust you. It's allowed me to just, just even be a light to those around me, especially my ex, who I never thought, because I looked at him as an enemy, and I didn't look at him as somebody who was going through something too. You know what I mean? And now that I've strengthened my relationship and still continuously working on that relationship with God, like, I have a better relationship with my ex. No, we're not back together. He's even in another relationship at the time, but that's a whole nother story. But I had to learn to forgive him. I couldn't go any further with trusting God and walking in obedience if I still held on, like I said, to evilness into my heart or bitterness in my heart. And I had to let go of the past. I had to, understand what love really was. And love doesn't hold on to things that are wrong or things that people have done to you that are wrong. Love causes you to truly be able to look at somebody as not just an ex or, a friend or a sister or brother or whatever. It causes you to look at people as children of God. And I just think to all the times that, God has forgiven me for things that I've done, and that especially things that people don't even know that I've done. Like, why couldn't I forgive him? Why couldn't I look at him as, a child of God, just like God does? And so that's allowed me to heal That's allowed me to treat him with love, because God says, to love those who hurt you, to pray for those who hurt you, to not return evil for evil. It just allowed, and just reading those scriptures, and it's like God just knew all the things that was going on in me. It was just like I was getting led to the right books of the Bible, the things that I needed to see to help me grow and to help me to see the things that God expected of us as we claim to be Christians and live out here in this world that is so dark sometimes and so lost. And I feel like just the love that God has shown me, the joy and the peace that God has given me, has allowed me to give that to other people, and for them to be like, if I was you, I wouldn't have been able to do it. If I was you, I wouldn't have been able to. And it's just like, why not? It's just like the ups and downs, as I call them, of life, the things that I was so worried about, the things that I was so, stressed about, the relationship, all of that. It was just like, I see now that all of these things, sometimes that hurt is allowed in our lives, like I said before, to build us up, to take off the old us and put on the new you, to put on the character and exude the character of Christ, because if we say we believe in him, that's what he expects of us. And just like I said, the praying, the binge watching sermons, the worship songs, everything that I had to do, I did it. And I pray that just my little tidbits and my little information of how I got to where I am now in my faith and in my walk with Christ will help you guys to do your thing too, because it's attainable. If God did it for me, he's going to do it for you. And it's hard, because as humans, we always want to react. We always want to give people what they give us, but it's a new level. It's a new mindset, and it all comes by, just, again, spending that time with God, staying in it, and not allowing everything or that comes up against you, not allowing the enemy to get you to believe that, you'll never have whatever it is you're asking God for, that you are desiring in your heart, because he's a liar. And that's how you know that the situations that he tries to get you to think is permanent is temporary, because he's a liar. And he lies. So I just pray that you guys will get focused, that you guys will get back focused, that you will pray often, that you will believe that what you pray for with faith will come, because it will. You just have to be patient. You have to trust God and just continue to walk in it and allow yourself time. Don't think that you have to get it all right. Don't think that God is looking at you like, oh, you messed up, so you out. Like, no, he's not a God like that. He gives us grace. He gives us mercy. He forgives us as long as we repent and turn away from those things and truly humble ourselves before him. He's going to allow whatever it is he has willed for your life to come to pass. But you also have to remember to stay in and around those people who their walk matches their talk, that they're not just saying like, yeah, I believe God, yes, I've grown up in church my entire life, I know what I'm talking about, and then their actions are totally different. Those people who are okay with mixing the culture and the world's ways with God's ways, those people who are okay with still smoking and drinking and sinning and doing all that stuff, like it's and even like I said, it's hard, but it's doable. Like you, and if they don't understand it, then they shouldn't even be in your face anyway. You know what I mean? So it's just like allowing yourself time, or giving yourself grace, allowing yourself to be free from relationships, or free from people who are still just doing things that you're trying to pray your way out of, because if you continue to stay in those areas, you're not going to be able to get away from it. Like, it's going to be easy for the enemy to trick you and deceive you and get you right back to where you were in the beginning. So I just hope and pray that something was said on this video that will encourage you to not give up, because it's so easy to, and that's what the enemy wants us to do. And And when it looks like it's just too much, when it looks like you're at your back's against the wall, you're at the dead end, like, if you give it over to God, if you truly humble yourself before him and say, God, I need you to come in, I need you to turn it around, he will do it for you. And he will do it just like that. He will do it suddenly, because he did it for me. He loved on me so hard and continues to still love on me so hard that when people offend me, when people say things about me, if people, I don't care, because I'm so secure in who I am in him that I don't care about, what I post on Facebook, or she's too churchy, or you always got something to say, because I'm saying it, I'm speaking the truth, and I'm saying it in love. And I'm doing it because I want to be able to bring light to the darkness, to this world, and to those that love me, those who I love, those who are around me every day, because I know that it's hard. I know that it's easy for you to throw in the towel and give up, because I was right there. But if you truly desire change, it has to start in your mind. You have to make that choice to do better, to want better for yourself, because I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself. So I hope that something was said today, like I always say, that has encouraged you and uplifted you to continue to stay in the race, continue to move forward, continue to trust God, and continue to stand unmovable, unshakable, firm in your faith, because he's able, and you have to trust that whatever it is that you are standing in the need of, God is already there. He's already met that need, and he's just leading you to it. And if it's something that is difficult, if it's something that you want that hasn't come, continue to wait on it, because if God gave that to you, if God told you that it's coming, it's going to come. But you have to make the necessary adjustments in your life. You have to make the necessary adjustments around you, in your environment, in your atmosphere, to hear him. You got to let go of them relationships. You got to let go of those behaviors, those mindsets, those things that give him less attention. You have to spend more time with him that you do on the things that you don't have, or the things that you so caught up in. You have to take that time in the valley, take that time in the wilderness, take that time in the space between your promise to get you together, because you matter. You matter to me, you matter to God, you matter to those who are looking up to you. So do not give up. Do not allow the circumstances around you to or the enemy to deceive you and think that what you're going through is going to always be what you are going through, that it's always going to be permanent. It will not. Those are lies. Those are his schemes. Those are his tricks to get you to think God ain't good, and to get you to just do whatever it is you want to do, and be out here lost, or go even further away from God than you already have. So I hope that you know that the enemy wants to keep you at the bottom. He wants to keep you at the bottom. So choose this day to serve God, and watch him take you to levels you couldn't even begin to imagine. I'm a witness that once you give yourself to the Lord, once you give your heart to the Lord, once you give your time and your attention, and you seek him before you do anything else, he'll give you a glow up, honey. A glow up like never before, where you won't worry about the petty stuff. You won't worry about the things that don't matter. You will focus on God more than you focus on the problem, because he's the problem solver.